Continuing coverage of Ball State baseball here in downtown Indianapolis. We come to you today from Victory Field with the opponent from the Columbus Clippers, Cleveland Indians AAA organization. Perci Garner joins us of the class of 2010 Ball State Cardinals. Welcome and congrats on your success, man. It's been a heck of a year.
Thanks for having me.
Walk me through this season for you. I guess let's go back at the beginning of last season. You're without a home, and now 2 years later, I think from the outside observer, people would say you're on the cusp of getting to where everybody wants to be. What's the last couple of years been like for you as a pro baseball player?
There's been a lot of ups and downs. Thankfully, lately, it's been a lot of ups, and it was kind of scary, being released by the Phillies. That was the team that drafted me, and I really wanted to make it up and be a Philly. But then when the Indians called me, as soon as I got home, they called me and said, hey, they asked if I was still interested in baseball, and of course I was. And it just seemed didn't seem real, that the Indians, my hometown team, was calling me to play for them. So, once I signed with them, they kind of just helped me, and they're a really big part of what all the ups have been this last year and a little bit of last season.
What's clicked? What's been the thing that turned you over to the point? I don't know if there's been a time, or certainly not an extended time, where your ERA has been over 2 this year. What flipped the switch?
I want to say there's a few things. The biggest thing is just like being released, I guess, and the scare of, wow, I have to step it up or I'm not going to be playing baseball anymore. And then a lot of other things is finally just trusting my stuff that it can compete in the strike zone and, not try to – I gave the hitters a little bit too much credit early on and trying to, pitch and throw to corners, and that really hurt me early on. So now that my confidence is, I have really no other choice but to challenge hitters, so that's what I'm doing.
How much does that transition to being a bullpen guy and getting 3 outs to go 90 miles an hour versus having to stretch that out over 5-6 innings change for you?
It's a big difference. Being able to just come out and chuck it and not really worry about, going the length of the game as a starter. I think it's been the difference for me too this year, is being able to just not worry about fatigue and just go out and just challenge hitters and let the ball go.
Where's your headspace at now? Is it one of those things where you can start to taste it? I'm getting close to my dream. I can feel it. I'm pushing. I feel like I'm breaking through.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly where it is. I don't really think my confidence can get any higher than what it is right now unless I go pitch at the next level. And, it's hard not to think about, but because, to be honest, my whole career I really haven't been in AAA until this year. So being this close, it kind of it makes you really, I think, work harder because you're that close and you want to be prepared for that moment because you're really one call away.
It's almost the curse of being on a good team at this point as well, because Cleveland is so dominant this season. But are you going to be anxiously waiting by that phone in a couple of days?
Yeah, I would. To be honest,
I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I will be. I'm not. I'll be a little hurt if it doesn't happen, but I'll understand. Look at what they have, and our team ERA here has been outrageous. So whoever they call up from my bullpen, will be able to help them out in the playoffs or in the September. But it would be nice to get the call in September, but I won't be heartbroken.
Take me way back though, because what's crazy is we're having this conversation, and if we go back to 2006, 2007, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg Beals didn't, what kind of conversation did you have with him, or was this totally, I'm going to play for you, Coach Hoke?
I didn't even speak to Greg Beals at all. I just assumed that people were speaking to him for me. So when I went and tried out in 2009, I had to do a walk-on tryout. He had no idea who I was or anything, so I was like, oh, man. So that was kind of scary, but, they gave me an opportunity and, things worked out. But, yeah, it was definitely, I'm going to play football and hopefully play baseball. But, Coach Hoke had plans for me to be the quarterback, and, you don't really let a quarterback just go and play other sports when he's got to get the offense down.
Is it a blessing in disguise a little bit that a guy named Nate Davis comes along, and certainly the opportunity isn't there to play necessarily right out of the gate, and then the baseball thing happens, and that turns out to be your calling?
Well, yeah, most likely I was going to be the guy after Nate left, and I was fine with that. But then they got a big-time recruit out of Texas, Kelly Page, and he was really the reason that baseball kind of was the option, because they just flat out said, hey, we're going to start Kelly. And I was like, all right, I guess I understand. Obviously I wanted to have the QB competition, and I was looking forward to that. But it kind of, hindsight, it's better that they just flat out said, hey, we're going to start this guy.
How was that walk-on process? Like, were you saying to yourself, oh my God, I am at square one, what am I going to do now? Talk to me about starting over.
Well, it was kind of funny because I had told some of the baseball players, like, hey, I threw pretty hard. I was pretty good in high school. And then the first few days of me trying out, they were like kind of like, wait, has this guy played baseball before? It was bad. I'd taken about 2 years off, and I was just throwing all footballs. And once I grabbed the baseball, it felt kind of awkward, and I was throwing the ball like 10 feet into the ground.
The curveball has a very tight spiral, though. It's very...
Yeah, but the biggest thing was they gave me the opportunity to throw off a mound after about 6 days of looking like I've never played baseball before. And thank goodness, God was on my side that day, because I was able to, throw it near the strike zone. And they were kind of laughing at first, and I was like, guys, don't laugh at me. How hard was I throwing? They're like, well, you were 91 to 93, welcome to the team. So I was like, oh, they were like kind of messing with me for a bit, but it all worked out in the end.
When did it go from being walk-on baseball player to spot on the team baseball player to, hey, Perci, I think you got a shot at making some money doing this?
There was pretty much 2 time frames where I was like, wow, I got a chance. I was just trying to be a college athlete when I first joined the team in January of 2009. And then after summer ball, they voted me top pitching prospect of the Great Lakes League or something, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, And then
okay.
it all changed whenever we went and played Louisville in 2010. They had all the scouts watching them, and my teammate Colburn. And then I kind of just had stuff that day that I hadn't had my whole life. So it's another timing thing.
Was that six strikeouts, 4 innings, or something like that?
Yeah, it was something around there, and I was throwing harder than I have thrown before. So
how did you feel walking off that mound? Did you sense, A, I can do this, and B, I might have just caught some eyes and turned some heads?
To be honest, my confidence was boosted, but I did not think, hey, I'm going to be drafted. I was just thinking draft might be an option, but I'll probably come back for another year because I feel like there's a lot I need to work on. But as soon as we got back from the road trip, Beals was like, hey, I think you got a little bit more interest than what you're thinking you are. And I'm like, oh, really? And then it kind of just took off from there. He's like, we need someone to help us out with this so you can focus on baseball right now. So
you left early, but what's it mean to you now? That you can take a step back and look at it, and what does Greg Beals mean, and what does Cardinal and White mean to you, and what's McGalliard mean to you, and what does the city of Muncie, when you think about it, just how's that settle in your heart?
Well, they're the only college team I root for in every sport, so people might find it odd because I'm from Ohio. They're like, you like Ohio State? I'm like, no, they didn't give me a scholarship. But at
least you didn't say Kent, so we're fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I still want to graduate from Ball State. There's no other school that I want to graduate from. Billsy and staff, they mean a lot. Marconi, he was there helping me too. He helped me in certain ways that, baseball wasn't related. But those guys mean a lot, and the teammates I had there mean a lot. Morgan Combs was here last night. He was the starter who was Friday, started before I was, and so he had Tommy John, and I stepped in his spot. But Ball State means a lot, and I really hope I can go back and graduate and have the walk on can get the accept my my degree at in Muncie, Indiana. I believe I only have 1 more year, so 2 semesters, but I have set up to go 3 semesters just in case. But computer technology was my major, and that's still my passion. So other than baseball,
obviously we want the baseball thing to work out, but what? Maybe it can help launch computer stuff for you. What do you want to do with baseball or beyond baseball?
I have not completely decided because I love working in computer software and hardware. I'm about to build a computer actually as soon as this season's over.
I just feel a lot dumber right now.
But I worked at this company who makes security software for schools, for intruders and fire drills and that. Just trying to take their security level to a whole nother, work, because a lot of schools, with the intruders,
Sure.
I don't want to bash on schools, but their procedures aren't very good. So, and I was working for that company, and it was hands-on, being able to see, like, wow, these schools need help. So, I mean, maybe continue doing that, or going to another field and making apps, or, there's a lot of stuff you can do with computers nowadays. So.
Percy, appreciate the time. Best of luck. We're rooting for you and looking for you up in Cleveland. Maybe this year, if not this year, next year certainly. But best of luck, and hopefully you'll throw tonight, because that would make this video a lot cooler.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'm up tonight, so it's up to the manager.
No complete games. No complete games. Percy, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.